Whether you are home alone or on a Christmas vacation, one thing's for sure for us diehard fans, Week 14 NFL did not disappoint. While some of us have had that season to call It's a Wonderful Life, others may be saying they've been Scrooged. That being said, one thing's for sure, it's the Juice Football Talk Show story, and it starts now. Well, good evening, everyone. Yes, it's the Juice Football Talk Show on a Wednesday night. Changing things up a little bit. Here to talk a world of football. Here are my good friends. The usual suspects on the Denver Bronco Roundup on Wednesday night are here with me tonight. Mr. Keith Brugman's joined me tonight. How are you doing, Keith?
Doing fantastic. Like I said, it was a super busy day, but it's one of those days where you feel very productive, like you got stuff done, you got your hands dirty a little bit. My pants probably need a good washing at this point. It's like, you went out there and got something done. You didn't sit behind a desk, that's for sure. Kenny, I know what you mean. I know you know what I mean.
Yep, I do. And glad to have my original co-host back on the Juice tonight. Trevor's got the night off. He's busy, but we decided to do this show tonight because last week's pregame show was really a hit, I think, in my opinion. And we got a big one coming up. We're going to get to the Broncos in a minute, but I got one of the four horsemen with me tonight. His debut on the Juice tonight. How we doing, Jody?
Doing good. Big game with the Packers this week. Gonna bite my tongue on college football committee, and I'll move on.
Absolutely. And Jody, like we always do, you don't know, we always like to throw a cheers out. We call our Denver Bronco Roundup the posse. Here on the Juice, it's the Juicers, and I give a toast out to start the show up. And it's a family show. I was thinking about doing the adult version of white wine, but I went with the family version. I got the white grape juice today. So juice it up, everybody. Keith and Jody, what are you guys drinking over there before we throw the official juice it up to everybody?
Well, I didn't go the family-friendly route. I did a little bourbon and Coke this evening.
I love it.
Welcome to the holidays.
Jody, what do we got there?
Just a little Gatorade.
Gatorade? Well, juice it up, everybody. Welcome to the Juice, and let's have a fun show. And Michael Ronquillo giving us 100 stars. Good evening, Kenny, on the Juice, along with Keith and Jody tonight. Blue, orange, blue, and white hearts. Thank you, Michael. Like I said, we're going to be bringing the Denver Bronco Roundup pregame show along with a post-game show on Sunday, being it's a huge game for the Packers. But we're going to get right into a couple comments earlier. Paul's throwing some orange carrot juice out there for his cheers to everybody, saying go Broncos with a little orange carrot juice. And Graham saying hello as well. Graham, welcome. Good to see you again. He's got a picture there of some kind of drink there. I'm not sure exactly what that is, Graham, but he's got it there as well. But let's get into the Broncos.
Little juice box.
Little juice. That's what it is. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it from here. That's funny. We're going to start with the Broncos. We usually start with the Broncos or the Giants. Keith and Jody are Broncos fans. I'm a Giants fan. We'll start with the Broncos. You guys, deserving to be the first to talk about. You're the number 1 seed or number 2 seeded currently in the AFC. A short, quick recap, maybe, Keith, of Sunday's game. It's Wednesday now, so we don't have to really go too deep into the Broncos. I've got a couple topics for you guys that I'd like to hit. in its place. But if you want to give a short recap for those who may have been on Mars the last few days and don't know the outcome of the game, maybe you can give a short recap.
Yeah. For me, what I saw out there, nice, even, consistent game. Wasn't anything flashy, other than maybe get Marvin Mims being special teams player of the week with his return. Running game got going a little bit. Pretty much had a handle on this game, it felt like, at least after we traded first drives. I actually had to edit my board. If anybody actually looked at our post-game show, I had 24-14 up there because the Raiders did tack on a last-second field goal, making it 24-17. Wasn't really that close throughout the entire game. Seemed like the Broncos had it handled. And, hey, a win, and a win that we needed, and did it in a more decisive fashion than the last time we met up with the Raiders.
Yeah, absolutely. And, congratulations on a 11-2 start to the season. So very impressive. So I got a couple topics for you guys. I'll say hello to Adam and Kayla first. They're saying good evening, family. Philip Rivers. Oh my, he always gave us fits. Going to get to that in a few minutes because we are the juice tonight. We're going to go all around the NFL tonight. So we will get to that in a couple minutes. Thank you, Adam and Kayla, for hanging out with us. Jody, I'll give you the first topic. I'll give you first crack at it. The Packers this week. Packers are currently the number 1 seed in the NFC with the loss to the Bears, head to head. They currently hold the 1 seed. I want a player on offense that needs to step up for the Broncos this week to have a chance of not have a chance to be successful against the Packers on.
I need to see RJ Harvey build off of last week. You're going to need this run game, and it's very important. I think he had 17 carries last week for like 77 yards. We need to just see him build off of that. You could tell it was worked on, running up the middle, run where the play's designed. There were a few times he tried to bounce it, and it cost him, but for the most part, he ran where the play was designed, and there were big holes. So that's the guy that needs to continue to improve if Denver wants to take that last final step with their offense.
Like that pick for sure. RJ Harvey has been solid, and definitely Keith's boy over there. Keith, you want to go a different route on the offensive side before we do defense as well? You want to take a different approach?
Boy, it's tough to go a different approach. I'll go back to Troy Franklin if I had to go back to it. He's our go-to guy. It seems like for Bo Nix, he didn't necessarily have the biggest game versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I think he's going to have to be a key piece because he has been a key piece. So get him back involved, and more importantly, Jody, we need to make sure that we catch the ball. We need to make sure that we catch the ball over Troy Franklin, and I know that you'll agree there. So I'll call out and I'll say Troy Franklin's got to be a big piece.
Michael is on Jody's side, saying run the ball against the Packers, and Graham, breaking news, Pat Bryant not expected to go Sunday, hamstring. Thank you, Graham, for sharing that. Troy Franklin does become more important. I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to say the offensive line, in particular, offensive line and like Adam Troutman, block Micah Parsons. Make him use his aggressiveness and pass rushing ability, and like Michael and Jody said, get that run game working. Run right at him. He's obviously going to be coming after Bo Nix. He may forget about RJ Harvey and the other running backs. So McGlinchey becomes very important, and Adam Troutman comes important on the double team. So those two guys I'll be watching closely because it will be definitely hard to block Micah Parsons a whole game. So I'd like to see them run at him and take advantage of his, aggressiveness.
Phil McLaughlin's dropping 100 stars with his comment, Kenny. I don't know if you want to read it for us,
Yeah.
but certainly bears recognition. He's got a little bit of offense, and then he's already switching over to the defense a little bit as well.
Appreciate the support for us over here at the Juice tonight, Phil. We're talking. I know you were late to come in. We're going to do a pregame show next week. It was a big hit. We thought we all liked it, and also postgame. With it being a huge game against the Packers, I think we'll have a lot of fun on Sunday. So we're doing the Juice tonight. He's saying, good evening, Kenny, Keith, and Judge. Pressure in love and running the ball, 2 keys to win. What do you think about that, Jody? Mike?
Sorry. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Josh Jacobs, he's been a thorn in the Broncos side going all the way back to the Raiders. So, but it's going to be interesting. He was a DNP today at practice. I guess he's dealing with the knee. So, we'll see where that goes. I don't know if it's just kind of precautionary or what the status is on that, but that's one to monitor. And then Love, he's hit or miss. He's kind of on this little he loves hot, he's hot, and when he's not, he's be one of the worst quarterbacks in football. So hopefully he can get off that heater pretty quick.
Michael wants to see more Mims over Franklin. Mims could be a factor. Let's switch defense, Keith. Who on defense, in your opinion, has to step up against this pretty good Packers offense that's coming around?
I think it's been at least a game, maybe 2 games, and it seems like Talanoa Hufanga has kind of disappeared a little bit. Haven't heard as much of him. He is such a lightning rod on this team, man. Not only can he be one of the best players, best tacklers, best blitzers, possibly get himself in position to make an interception. Not really coming down with him all that often. But I think he's also that spark plug for the defense as well. I think if you want to have a game, Talanoa Hufanga's got to show up, and he's got to kind of set the tone in a game like this. You're going up against the number 1 seed in the NFC. You got to go out there and you got to get it done, man. And I would love to see Talanoa Hufanga be that guy.
Love it. Michael doesn't think neither team's going to be successful with the blitz because they are good against blocking against the blitz. So he's not expecting much blitzing. Graham saying, watch out for Christian Watson. And I'm going to let Jody go in a second. I'm going to double down. I'm going to say the safeties are going to be important here because the Packers have taken deep shots, which includes Christian Watson. But Melton, their wide receiver last week, I watched the game, had 1 reception, 40 yards, touchdown. They're going to take some deep shots. So the safeties are going to be important here, and Hufanga and Jones. And I do want to say hello to Patrick. Patrick's saying there, aloha boys out there in Hawaii with 200 stars. Thank you, Patrick. Aloha to you, my friend. Keith, I'll let you plug Lion Coffee, if you want to give a shout out to our good friends over there. A good friend, Patrick, who keeps us all, caffeinated with some great coffee.
My best plug for Lion Coffee, I've been drinking it I started drinking coffee at an age when they said, don't do that. It'll stunt your growth. And I'm 6 foot, so I don't think that's necessarily the truth. But I've been a coffee connoisseur, I guess you could say, of sorts. Love my coffee. And there's none better than Lion Coffee. Lion Coffee come shipped to you straight from Hawaii. Patrick probably put his hands on the package. LionCoffee.com, the best coffee on earth. Honestly, it doesn't matter where I'm at, what the situation is. If I need to, I'm gonna buy myself Lion Coffee on any corner of the globe. That's how much I love the coffee. LionCoffee.com. If you're a coffee lover, check them out. Tell me you're disappointed, and heck, I might even buy the bag you bought. It's okay, man. I'm telling you, it's that dang good.
I'm double downing. He takes care of us at the hospital, and Matthew Stafford, Drake May, they're not the MVP. Patrick's the MVP for us at the hospital I'm at because he keeps us going at night for sure, and it's really great stuff. Michael, throwing the Packers are the number 2 seed in the NFC. The Rams are the number 1. Yes, so very
Apologies.
close.
My
I
apologies.
did think that. My apologies. I thought they were the 1 seed too. My apologies, but the tie. He's right, because of the tie, they are the 2 seeds. So thank you for correcting us there, Michael. We appreciate it. Jody, defense, real quick for you, and then we'll move on to my second question for you guys on the Broncos.
For defense for Green Bay,
Broncos. Who do you want to see step up?
I'd like to see Jade Barron step up this game. I mean, he's been doing all right, but I'd like to see him completely take out Luke Musgrave this game and make it where the tight ends are non-efficient in this game. Make it where Jordan Love has to, throw it either PS2 or Riley Moss.
Yeah, and they, make the Packers line tight ends non-existent. Tucker Kraft went down with an injury. He was their number 1 guy. They don't really have a threat that you've seen in the past weeks. So take them out of the game. Let the wide receivers, give them their best shot going deep. You'll see a couple deep shots, and hopefully they got them covered well. Second one I got for you guys. The remaining schedule for the Broncos, Keith and Jody, and Juicers play along. 4 games left. This week, Packers. Next week, the following week, it's the Jaguars. Then it's Chiefs and Chargers to wrap up the season. Arguably the 4 hardest games on the schedule. 4 hardest stretch here. The hardest stretch of 4 games, in my opinion. Realistic, real quick, and we'll move on. Percentage of, not even a percentage, how realistic is the 1 seed for the Broncos?
Very realistic, 100% realistic. Tell me there's a reason why the Broncos should lose any of these games. I can give you every reason they should win every single one of these games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, you're talking about having to go up against 11-2 team who hasn't lost in 10 straight games. Till you prove me wrong, I don't foresee a loss. So number 1 seed, absolutely, look out.
I'm with you. Jody, how realistic?
Very realistic. All the teams you play, you have better records than. These are games you should win 3 or 4 at home. You got Kansas City on Christmas on a short week, which will be tough. But by then, they might be checked out. They may be completely out of it by then. So, and you're getting healthy. I mean, you got DJ Jones practice today, Ben Powers practice today, Nate Atkins practice today. You're minus J.K. Dobbins. You're about as healthy as you're gonna get. So, yeah, it's as realistic as can be. Or, it's right there in front of you. You control everything. You control the tiebreaker with the Pats. So, yeah, it's very realistic.
Michael's got 75%, 3-1, and Phil's 100%, 3 home games. So he's got them, I think 3-1 is realistic, but 4-0 is right there too. So yeah, I think it's very realistic. You can get the 1 seed. Anything else on Broncos? And then I'll just go really, really quick on the Giants, and then we'll get into the rest of the league. Giants had their bye, but they got an early Christmas present at least for 1 week, and that was the Tennessee Titans coming out with a win. Gives the Giants the first pick in the draft. And just like the question I had, how realistic is the 1 seed, or how realistic is the Giants getting the first pick in the draft? I'm optimistic we're going to win at least 1, maybe 2 games. So I'm going to say 50% at best the Giants will hold the number 1 pick. And if we did hold the number 1 pick, I could see us trading back and getting many draft picks, because there's a couple of good quarterbacks coming out and quarterback needy teams. So we'll see what happens there in Giants land going forward. We got one up against the Commanders. Let's get a question from Keith Stober while we're at it. He wants to know, Patriots going to lose. I got their schedule here. Buffalo this week, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore at Baltimore.
Yep.
Buffalo's home. Baltimore, Jets and Dolphins.
Yep. You get 2 home games sandwiched with a couple of away games in the middle. The Bills is the first one I look at as a possible loser. The Bills are up against it. The Bills need a win in a big, big way, right? And then you turn right around and you get right there with the Ravens, who need wins in a big, big way going down the stretch. Jets, I'm not going to project a loss to the Jets. No way I'm doing that. And then the Dolphins are kind of like the Carolina Panthers. Sometimes they're fantastic. Sometimes they're a big old mess. So 50-50, maybe a flip of the coin on that one. I don't know. Like that. But 2 games, I think, right off the bat that we see on the schedule, I'd be worried about if I was the Patriots.
Yeah, I agree. And momentum. I'm a huge guy on momentum, and we saw the Broncos almost lose to the Commanders after their bye. Patriots have been on a win streak, bye week. I'm expecting a slow start, whether that's one drive, one quarter, one half, or I'm expecting some kind of slow start from the Patriots because they had a whole week off. Buffalo, much needed win last week. I think they got it in their head that they got to beat the Patriots. I think they're going to come out and be a force to reckon with. We're going to pick that game later on. Let's move on. I got some games of the week, guys. First game, and then I got a question. I'll give you guys a question on each game that we talk about here. Our top 3 games of the week. First one was Thursday night, and that was the Lions. It's almost a week ago. The Lions faced the Cowboys, and the Lions improved to 8-5 with a 44-30 victory, and led by Jared Goff with 309 yards and Jamar Gibbs 3 touchdowns rushing, defeated the Cowboys. Old friend of the Broncos, Javonte Williams, led the way rushing with 67 yards and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb and Ryan Flournoy, each with over 100 yards receiving in this game. I'll give Jody the question. The question's going to be, Jody, the Lions right now are the first team out looking to get into the wild card. Cowboys are a game and a half away from the division. If you had to pick one team to make the playoffs, do the Lions make it in as a wild card, or do the Cowboys make it in as a division winner and knock the Eagles out, who are on a 3-game losing streak?
I think I'm going to go with the Cowboys just because I think the Eagles, they're broken. Jalen Hurts threw 4 interceptions last night. It sounds, Monday night. It sounds like the locker room is not behind him. And I've said it for a while. When you watch him on the sidelines, I applaud the no emotions, but sometimes you've got to show emotions, and he can throw 4 touchdowns and show nothing. He can throw 4 interceptions and show nothing. Nothing gets him worked up, and I don't like that. And they've got real problems there. We've seen this 2 years ago when they started off hot and lost it down the stretch. I think the same thing again. This is a leadership problem, in my opinion. So I'll go Cowboys.
I like that. Got Karen Poison Lady saying, good evening, all. What's up, Karen? Thank you for hanging out with us on The Juice tonight. We said, you're just coming in, and for those who are just tuning in, we will have a pregame show on Sunday, Denver Bronco Roundup, along with a post-game show as always. So please come check us out. Sunday pregame, probably about 30 minutes before kickoff, right, Keith, you would say?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 45 minutes, 30 minutes. Yeah.
Michael has Cowboys win the NFC East. And you know what? I'm not counting it out, Jody, because in 21 years, there has not been a repeat champion in the NFC East. And what scares me, though, that the Eagles may repeat is they have the Raiders this week, Commanders twice, and Buffalo on their schedule, I believe. I know it's the Commanders twice and the Raiders. So a weaker schedule kind of hurts a little bit Cowboys' chances. I'll move on to the next game, and I'll give Keith a question on that. And the next game of the week I had was an NFC North matchup, and it had the Bears, who were currently the 1 seed, dropped from the 1 to the 7 seed in 1 week. and that they fall to 9-4. So there's a bottleneck right there. All the teams with 4 losses, 5 losses. The Packers improved to 9-3-1 with their tie against the Cowboys. Caleb Williams, another average day, 19 for 35, not very accurate, 186, 2 touchdowns. Luther Burden, the rookie, led the way. He's coming on lately, 4 receptions for 67 yards. On the winning side, Jordan Love did what he needed to do, 17 for 25, 3 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs added a touchdown with 86 yards rushing. And we talked about him. Christian Watson, 4 catches, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns, though. You got to watch this guy. He's hungry for the end zone, and they look for him in the end zone. So got to watch out for him this week, Denver. My question to Keith is going to be a simple one. At 9-4, dropping from the 1 to the 7 seed, do the Bears make the playoffs? 49ers are right there with them, 4 losses. The Lions are on the outside looking in with 5 losses again this year.
Yeah, it's such a bottleneck. Yeah, I'm gonna say the Bears make it in. You know, they've been Ben Johnson has been finding ways to get to the record they have. They went up against a tough opponent. I understand that. They went up against Jordan Love and the Packers, but you know, I'd like to think that, you know, they're gonna pull it out. You know, I just want kind of a change, a pace. You know what I mean? And it's been a long time since we've seen the Bears in the mix. So maybe I'm just pulling for them, but let's get the Bears in the NFC playoffs.
Okay. Absolutely. I think you're right. I think the Bears may get in. I think they could have won that game against the Packers. It just went one play, that interception at the end. Otherwise, we might be looking at an overtime game and a Bears victory. So I'm with you there. In my last game of the week, I'm going to give this one to Jody. It was Monday night, the Eagles versus the Chargers. You talked about Jalen Hurts' struggles, 21 for 40, 4 interceptions, a fumble and an interception on the same play. If you didn't see that play, that was wild. We get a fumble recovery by the Chargers. The Chargers defensive lineman is running with the ball. He fumbles. An interception, by the defensive lineman. He fumbles the ball. Jalen Hurts picks it up. He starts running. He fumbles the ball. So an interception and a fumble on the same play. Saquon Barkley, 20 rushes for 122. He had that one big play on the fake tush push, which gave him a touchdown. A.J. Brown, 100 yards. Justin Herbert with the broken wrist, his non-throwing wrist hand. 12 for 26, 139 with a touchdown. Added 66 yards on the ground. Question for Jody is, they're in the wild card hunt, but do you trust that Justin Herbert's going to be able to play the rest of the year on that broken hand?
Yeah, I think so, because now he has to be smart with it. I mean, you could see when he was running, he knew when to slide and different things. I mean, this whole line's banged up, so I think Harbaugh knows you're going to have to, like you said, 26 passes. They were leaning into the run game. They got to get the ball out of his hands quick. They're got to adjust, because he goes down, they're in a lot of they're done. So Harbaugh's a smart enough coach. He's won a natty and stuff, so he'll adjust. He'll lean on the run game. They got Marion Hampton back, so I think he will.
Great. Anything else on the games of the week? Did you guys want to hit any other games off the top of your head? You know, anybody got any questions for anybody? Throw them out there.
Jody, I got a question for Jody. You said that the Eagles are broken. Are they fixable within this season, or are they broken this season and we'll have to look to next season and changes or whatever comes about in order to get back on track to their Super Bowl winning ways?
I'm never going to count them out. You never count the champs out till they're completely out. They're still in the playoffs, but there's some things that are broken that can't get fixed till this offseason, one being your head coach. I think that's where a lot of these problems start. 2 years ago, you kind of started hot like this and imploded down this down the stretch. And the same thing again. You've got a diva wide receiver complaining about touches. You've got the reigning offensive player of the year who you don't give the ball to. You, like Kenny said, would he throw the ball 40 sometimes? That's Sean Payton style football, and we don't have a running back, and he has the best running back and doesn't use him. So there's massive changes that need to happen, but in season that won't happen in season. So, but I'm not going to count the champs out till they're out, just like Kansas City.
Yeah, that's a good point there, Jody. I definitely agree with a lot what you said there. So I'm going to move on, Keith. You know what? I think we're going to take a little break before we get to smoked, and I'm going to give you guys a blind ranking. We do this every week on the Juice. So sometimes it's football related, sometimes it's entertainment, sometimes it's all of the above. This week's blind ranking has to do with football, but it doesn't have to do with teams or players or anything like that. We're going to blind rank Keith and Jody and Juicers best game day appetizers. Okay, so I'll start with Keith and then Jody, and then I'm going to write down, your picks, and then we'll see where you rank, and I'll grade you at the end. So the first one I'm going to get the gate, Keith and Jody, is buffalo wings. Where are you ranking buffalo wings? I'll go with Keith first.
Oh, well, it's the general public, not me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take it out right off the top. I'm going to put it at the number 1 slot.
Okay, and Jody?
I'll put them like a solid 3. I mean, they're good. They're depending on what flavor. I'm definitely a bone-in guy, but they're definitely up there.
Michael's going 1 on the wings as well. I'll go back to Keith. Jalapeno poppers.
Now, this would be my number 1 if this was my list, maybe. But like I said, this is the overall list. I'm gonna give myself some room. I'll put the poppers at number 4.
Poppers at 4 for Keith and Jody. How about you?
I'll go 4 as well.
Okay.
Making it easy on Kenny. Come on.
Keith's going. Phil's going wings 1, poppers 5. Everybody else wants to play along. Wait for Michael's response, and we'll continue. Give you the old loaded potato skins.
Glad I left my 5 open. I think I'm gonna have to go loaded potato skins in the 5 slot, and hope that we have some better ones for 2 and 3.
Poppers for Michael, and how about Jody? What about the potato skins?
I'll go 5 as well. I hate to keep copying Keith, but I'm not the biggest potato guy.
You live out there in close to potato land, and you're not a potato guy. You're in the wrong neck of the country, my friend.
I mean, I like potatoes.
Give me the big old baked potato loaded. Yeah, now we're talking.
Of all the different types of potatoes, that's probably my least favorite. It's a loaded baked potato.
It is overrated, in my opinion. Phil's going 4 on the potato skins. 2 more. Give it the old pigs in a blanket.
I'll let Jody go first instead of me always going first.
I'll go 2. I think it's really underrated.
How about you, Keith?
I'll take the 3 spot. See, that's good. We were a little bit different then. See, and I was thinking that before you said that. So
and the last one, spinach artichoke dip. Jody, let you go first again.
I guess it's got to go 1. I like it. It's good. It's not my favorite dip, but I like it.
And Keith?
That puts me at the 2 spot for the artichoke dip. And to be honest, yeah, not bad, man. Sometimes it's all about the actual dipping chip. Get those flat salted pretzels with some with those that artichoke dip. You'll love it. You'll love it.
Yep. I'll read some of the juicers. Potato skins 5 from Michael. Potato 4 for Phil. Patrick 5 on the potato. Wings 1. Poppers 2. Michael with the 2 on the pigs in the blanket. Phil with the 3. Bill's got number 1 with artichoke dip, and Patrick's going 3 on the pigs, and Michael pigs 2. I'll tell you guys right now, giving you guys both A minuses. You almost completely nailed an A plus. The correct order: spinach artichoke dip, number 1. Jody had number 1. Keith had wings number 1. Wings was number 2. Pigs in a blanket 3. Jalapeno poppers 4. Potato skins loaded number 5. A minus on the blind ranking, guys. Congratulations on a successful one there from you guys. Love it.
I'll go. I want to get Kenny and Jody's quick reaction. Which one surprises you the most in this list? Kenny, when you first pulled this list up, what was the first one you were like, holy cow, I didn't expect that to even be on here?
I didn't expect nothing really surprised me. Maybe potato skins at the 5, but what surprised me the most was I thought for sure buffalo wings. See, maybe spinach artichoke dip, pigs in a blanket, wings would be down at 3. I'm not the biggest wings fan.
Me either.
Wings number 1, I think around the country, I think as a whole would have been, I think, number 1 for an app over the spinach dip, in my opinion.
Jody, did you have one?
Probably the pigs in the blanket for me.
Yeah, that was kind of shocking. I thought pigs in the blanket. Honestly, spinach artichoke dip, I was shocked that it made the list, let alone it was number 1. That's kind of crazy to me. I don't know. I didn't realize the popularity. Kenny, thanks for doing a blind ranking, man. We're going to have to get some graphic or some video for a blind ranking.
That'd be fun in the future. I love the blind rankings. I love doing it with everybody. Sometimes we do a twist, and sometimes we do NFL related as well. Got a couple more for you. I see we're just over 35 minutes in. Keith, do you want to throw a little plug out for Morgan Trinkets? Or
absolutely. Absolutely. Morgan Trinkets, if y'all don't know, if they've been your headquarters for Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices for like 34 going on 35 years, which is just amazing. They were once a nationwide company. Now they just hang out in your backyard. As a matter of fact, I was just looking it up. Longmont Fairgrounds this weekend, Friday and Saturday, the Gem and Railroad, Model Railroad. Fantastic, busy Christmas show out there at Longmont. Morgan Trinkets is going to be there. If you're in the area, by all means, it sounds like a fantastic, fantastic show to go to in general. And then you get to check out Morgan Trinkets. If you can't check them out there, you can check them out over on Etsy, Morgan Trinkets Co. You can check them out on eBay. You can type in Pearl Heat, because Pearl Heater is our amazing sponsor over at Morgan Trinkets. Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices, silver, sterling silver, 100% sterling silver. They have specials going on all the time. You need to check them out. They're fantastic at what they do, and they're fantastic in the way they sponsor our show. We appreciate them very much. Check them out if you're in Longmont this weekend.
Thank you, Pearl. We do appreciate all the support that you have given us on all our shows. I do have a couple more for you. I see we got about 15-ish minutes left. It's our segment we used to call Toasted for the morning show, which we kept the same format, but we changed the name for an evening style, dinner style. We call it now Smoked. And usually Smoked is our 3 blowouts of the week. So you usually get your bottom teams that are getting blown out. But I wanted to change it up this week. And the way I changed it up was 3 teams that got smoked and maybe smoked themselves right out of the playoffs with a loss. So I got the 3 teams smoked. Keith's got the graphics for everybody. And then I'll throw a question like I did for the games of the week. I'll give Keith and Jody a question on each of these games. So first one I'm going to hit, Keith, is the Colts and Jaguars. And the team that got smoked was the Colts, as the Jaguars go into and beat Indianapolis in a rainy Jacksonville, 36-19. The story here, Daniel Jones goes down early with a torn Achilles. Sad news for him. as a Giant fan, seeing him be successful over there was somewhat nice to see. And you don't ever want to see anybody go down with an injury like that. But the season Daniel Jones was having, they were in the playoff hunt and leading the AFC South for most of the year. But he goes down. Rookie Riley Leonard from Jody's Notre Dame takes over, and he also got hurt. He had little success. The Jaguars, they fed the Jaguars some red meat in this one, and they were led by their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, 17 for 30, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Travis Etienne led the way with 2 touchdowns, rushing 74 yards. They stay in first place. But the big news afterwards, Phillip Rivers. Yes, that Phillip Rivers, who's been retired out of football since 2020.
44-year-old Phillip Rivers.
44-year-old Phillip Rivers tries out for the Colts and lands on the practice squad. Keith, I'll give you and Jody the same question. Can the Colts have success with Phillip Rivers at quarterback at this age if he does come off the practice squad?
Well, obviously it's their best option for success. I would say that yes, you can have a limited amount of success. I watched me and you watched Vinny Testaverde come up off the couch many a times, and whether it be for the Dolphins or the Cowboys or wherever he ended up, that was a guy that understood football and he can get it done. I think the way this team is playing and what they have on the line and the way they could rally around Phillip Rivers, yes, I think they could have success. Long-term success, great playoff success. I'm not going to commit to that, but they could have success in the next 4 games.
I like it. Jody, you agree with Keith, or you think they're going to struggle with Phillip at quarterback?
I'm not sure, to be honest. From the little highlights I've seen of practice today, I mean, he looks decent. He's a little bit bigger than when he last played. I don't know if you guys caught any of his press conference today. They kind of grilled him on his weight a little bit, but but I think he was expecting it. He threw some zingers back at him. But I thought it was funny when he said, definitely not the same weight as when I last left the field in Buffalo 5 years ago. But I'm not really sure. And it's weird. It's weird being a Broncos fan. You would think that I'd be one of those that just hate Phillip Rivers and want to see him fail, but I actually kind of have this. I don't know. He was a crap talker, but in a good way on the field, and I guess I always had respect for him and the fact that he's coming back to do it, and I want to see it work. So, I mean, I'm not going to publicly cheer for him, but I think I'd like to see it work a little bit.
I'll tell you why I think it's going to work. I got two funny ones for you. Crazy scenarios here. One, I wish the NFL would fix, and that's if Phillip Rivers steps on the field out of retirement, he has to wait 5 years before he can be eligible for the Hall of Fame. That's crazy, in my opinion. For a guy who's only going to play a couple games, you want to let him be ineligible for a year or two. I'm okay with that. But to let the guy wait 5 years after being retired for 5 years, that's a little harsh, in my opinion. And I hope the NFL would do the right thing and change that rule. The second one, I got to give credit to Kurt, because I told Kurt, he asked about the agenda that I was doing with the juice that we had planned, and I told him I was going to talk about Phillip Rivers. Listen to this crazy thing, guys. Phillip Rivers was coaching in Indiana high school, his son's football team. They are running at that high school the same offense that Shane Steichen put in for the Colts. Now he's playing with the Colts. So I think it could be successful, like Keith said. I think there's a better chance of it being successful than failing if Phillip Rivers steps on the field. Crazy scenario there, right?
That is amazing.
Running the same offense at his high school that his son played on. So we'll see. Good luck to Phillip Rivers. I got nothing against him. It will be fun to see how he does when and if he hits the field.
I think another advantage he has is Jonathan Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Ride Jonathan Taylor and make it easy for Phillip Rivers. I mean,
make him throw the ball 20 times a game. That's it. I agree.
20 or less.
Yeah.
I did hear a wild thing today where he's top 10 passing and touchdowns and all that. Everyone thinks he's fringe Hall of Famer. Where's he at in 5 more years? I mean, there's a lot of good quarterbacks that are going to be up in 5 more years. I think that's what's going to push him down the road, which is going to, 63,000 yards and the amount of touchdowns he has. Someone said those are going to be just okay numbers by the time he's up for election again. So
I do hope they change the rule because, in my opinion, he's up there with Dan Marino as one of the best who never won a Super Bowl quarterbacks.
But the NFL's been bad about it forever. I mean,
I know.
Like they wait for guys to pass away before they want to put them in. And it's like he hasn't played for 20, 30 years. And as soon as he passes away, then you put him in.
Yeah.
I mean, let him celebrate with his family and stuff.
Yep. I'm going to move on to the next game we got for smoked, Keith, and that's the Steelers and Ravens, as the Ravens get smoked at home in this one. And it looks like the cooking the Raven on the barbecue there. I love it. Love that graphic. Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf enjoyed some Baltimore pit beef. Pit beef in Baltimore is a staple. It's very similar to a barbecue beef sandwich, but it's the rump roast cut of the beef. And it's on a charcoal. And there's a couple places in Baltimore that are specific for it. And they got a sauce called Tiger sauce that it's served on with horseradish. So Baltimore pit beef, they enjoyed some there. And the Steelers take down the Ravens and take over first place, while Lamar Jackson and the Ravens fall to 6-7 and in second place. Short supply of charcoal for the winner in Baltimore in this one, because Lamar Jackson, he was bundled up pretty much in this one, and maybe he needs to take some layers off to have some success. But DK Metcalf, man, 7 receptions, 148 yards. Zay Flowers in the losing cause, 8 for 124. But my question for Keith and Jody on this one, I'll let Jody go first. Who wins this division? They do have another game to end the season, Steelers and Ravens. Steelers are 7-6. Ravens are 6-7. The Steelers do have a little tough schedule coming up. So just want to know who you like in this one to win the division.
I think I'll probably go with the Steelers, just because their quarterback is probably playing more consistent. Lamar he's hurt still. He doesn't look right. He's not running. And the Ravens' defense is bad this year. They've not been good all year. So I'll go Steelers, but both teams are not really that good. So,
okay, I like it. Keith, same question. Who wins this division?
This is the question, isn't it? I was just looking really quick at that matchup. You have to go Steelers. I mean, right now with the Ravens, they have one maybe easy game, but it just got tougher with the Bengals. Then you go Patriots, and then you go Packers, and then you match up against the Steelers. I mean, that's like a murderer's row right there. Steelers probably eke this one out and take out the AFC North, believe it or not. I thought they were dead to rights at one point.
And you know what? I'm going to go with history, and Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. So if they finish 9-8, that's going to give them the division, I think, at 9-8, because the Ravens, I think, are going to lose 2 more games. I think and all the talks of Mike Tomlin getting fired are going to be out the door. They're going to be in the playoffs with the 4 seed, maybe the 3 seed, and Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. Maybe they win a game. We'll see. We'll see. But I got the Steelers as well. I got one more for smoked, and then we'll do some picks.
Can I ask a question on that game real quick?
Of course.
Was that a touchdown by Likely?
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't see the game.
I have a hard time calling it a touchdown. I was, at first glance, I was like, oh, well, yeah, he kind of fumbled the ball. Comes down, he gets 2 steps, he has it extended out in front of him. The defender knocks it out from behind him. They say he doesn't make a football-like move. To me, it was tough to call it a reception. I was okay with the ruling. What were your thoughts, Jody?
What I didn't understand, what's a football move in the end zone?
Very true.
When you can jump over, when you can take a snap and just hurdle over the end zone and barely crack the line, and then it gets swatted out of your hands, but it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
But yet when it's thrown to you, you've got to take 2 steps, whatever, and make a football move.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really understand that. It was a hands catch to me. I thought it was a touchdown. I didn't really like the call. I didn't really care either way, but it's like one of those gray areas I wish the NFL would fix.
Mixed reaction from the juicers. Some are saying touchdown, some are saying no touchdown. I'll have to definitely look at it a little closer and give you my 2 cents on it.
Because what I don't get is if you just were flat-footed, and what's your football move? Why do you don't need to make a football move in the end zone?
You bring up a great point, my friend.
That's what I didn't understand, but
yeah.
Gotcha. Good. Do one more smoked, and then I'll give you guys a couple games of the week for us to pick, so we can wrap it up in the hour here. The last smoked team was the Kansas City Chiefs, everybody, and I think they smoked themselves right out. So in the battle of who has the best barbecue, Texas beats Kansas in this one, in Kansas City. And take down the Chiefs. Texans take down the Chiefs 20-10. CJ Stroud, average game, 15 for 31 with a touchdown. Nico Collins, 121 yards receiving. Their receivers stepped up with 4 receptions. Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce played more like papooses instead of Chiefs in this one. With Pat Mahomes, 14 for 33, 3 interceptions, almost a Jalen Hurts type game. And Travis Kelce, maybe thinking about, starting a family with Taylor, the wedding plans coming up. 1 reception for 8 yards at home in the loss. Unacceptable. Chiefs are looking old, or like I just said, maybe like children, papooses instead of Chiefs leading the way. Question for
and
you.
he's the reason that 3rd interception happened. The ball hit him right in the hands, and he just muffed it. And
I'm going to
put it up to get intercepted.
Yep.
I'm going to give Jody the Chief question, and I'll give Keith the Texan question. We're getting short on time, so we'll do this like quick hitter style, maybe 30 seconds or less, Jody and Keith. Chiefs, Jody, are they out, or are they still got a chance to get in of the playoffs?
Well, they're completely out of winning the AFC West. But like I said with the Eagles, until you knock them completely out, they still have hope, and they still have Patrick Mahomes, who was the only one trying to make plays Sunday night. So as long as they have a heartbeat, they're not knocked out yet. So
fair enough. Michael Ronquillo saying they're done. Keith's going to get the Texan question. How dangerous are the Texans if they get into the playoffs?
I said it before, and I guess I get to say it again. I don't know. I didn't do it on the juice. I said it someplace. I think this is the most dangerous team in all of the AFC. This is the team that if I'm the Denver Broncos, I'm anybody else in the Patriots, I'm whoever. I do not want to play the Texans. They're tough. They're mean. They're gritty. They're the toughest defense out there besides the Denver Broncos. And for that reason alone, I don't want to see them. I think they're scary, scary, scary. And they did it with freaking Davis Mills. that tells you something right there.
Yeah.
I'll add
Biggie-
something real quick to that too. I agree with Keith, and it is why I really want Houston to win this division, because the 2 is very possible for Denver, and I do not want to see a 2-7 Houston matchup in the first round. So, if you're like me, cheer for Houston this week against Jacksonville.
I do
get
think
that
the
3
Texans
seed.
are going to get the division. I do. I think they're going to win this division, getting hot at the right time. I think they're going to overtake the Jaguars. Michael saying defense is good, and Biggie Bronco saying hello. What's up, Biggie Bronco? Thanks for hanging out. Keith, got a couple minutes left. I think I'll do this way. I'll let each. I got some games of the week, so instead of us all picking them, I'll go one.
If we need to go a couple minutes over, it's okay,
all right,
buddy.
it'll only be a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I got a few games for us to pick, fun ones,
Right.
I think. So we'll start with an AFC matchup that's gonna be watching. A lot of Bronco fans are gonna be watching, and that's the Buffalo Bills traveling to New England. Keith, Sunday, early game Sunday.
Mm-hmm. What do you want from me, bud?
Just pick.
Oh. You're making it difficult on me, buddy, because I was just talking about it earlier about how the Buffalo Bills could play the spoiler, and they need a win so badly, I feel. But they're traveling. It's the Patriots, and I'll be honest, Drake May looked amazing last game I saw him, man. I gotta go with the Patriots. I'll go Patriots in a close one though. How about 27-24 Patriots?
Phil's going with the Bills. I'm going to take the Bills in this one. Revenge. Patriots are going to get off to that slow start. Hopefully it's a game-long slow start and not just one drive. But I'll let Jody be the difference, the break the tie from me and Keith. Who does he like in this one, Buffalo or New England?
I'm probably going to go Buffalo just because they know that they don't get this. The divisions, they've lost the division and probably the 3 seed. So, probably the 3 seed, 2 seed, whatever. So it's pretty important to them if they don't want to travel, the first week of the playoffs. So,
yeah. I like Michael saying CJ wants his payback against the Broncos. They knocked them out. And Biggie thinks not going to have to worry about Kansas City. Chargers are going to eliminate them this week from the playoffs. So let's hope for Bronco fans that and just as an NFL fan, I like to see new teams get in. So I want to see Kansas City out. It'd be fun to see them sitting at home this year crying in January out there in Mexico. That's where they're going to go watch the games in Cancun. Let's move to the NFC for the next one here. I'll start with Jody. Battle of 2 former teams going. Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions head into his old team in LA, and Matthew Stafford facing his old team. Lions in the wild card hunt. Rams sitting with the 1 seed. Rams are home in this one, Jody. Who takes it?
I'm going to go the Rams. I think they're probably playing the most consistent football of any team in the NFL on offense and defense. Matthew Stafford, for 37 years old, is probably your MVP. I mean, he's balling out this year. Sean McVay, he's probably up there for Coach of the Year as well, so I'll go Rams.
Phil's going Rams. Michael's going Rams. Is Keith going Rams?
And I'll add one thing. I can't go Detroit till Dan Campbell stops going for it on 4th down. I mean, he's cost his team multiple wins this year because he won't kick field goals. So
I'll go to Keith. Is he going to stick with the Rams or is he going Detroit?
Oh, man, I'd love to make Carson happy, but I agree. The Rams are just a unit on offense. They are just performing, and we talked about those elderly quarterbacks. Jody just mentioned 37-year-old. We talked about a 44-year-old earlier in the podcast, man. Stafford's out there getting it done, man. I think he gets it done again. I'm going to put a score on this one again. I'll go ahead and I'll put the Rams at 30 and the Lions at 21.
I like your score. I'm going to be sweep the board and go with the Rams. They are complete, like Michael's saying. Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua is going to be tough to stop in this one, and Stafford's going to have some motivation facing his old team, and the chance to knock them out of the playoffs is going to add some extra motivation for him, along with continuing to have the 1 seed as well. So I expect nothing but a complete game from the Rams, and I do see like a 30-21, 31-21 type of game as well. Got another one for you guys. We're going to do AFC. We're going to go to the AFC West. We're going to talk about the Chargers and the Chiefs, Keith. Chiefs hanging on by life support, and the Chargers, give them credit. They're right there in the middle. You know, if it wasn't for the Broncos and Patriots having a solid 2-loss season, Chargers could be right in there for the not only the AFC division, but a top seed as well.
You know, it's not going to be easy for the Chargers because they are going into Kansas City. But at the same time, I think the Chargers are getting healthy at the right time. Amari and Hampton looked pretty in his comeback. I think you could get a heavy dose of him. I know that Herbert's dealing with that hand, but he's out there running for first downs. I think this is the nail in the coffin, as one of our juicers said a little bit earlier, and I think the Chargers win this one. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say a 24-13 victory for the Chargers.
Wow. Michael and Phil are going Kansas City. Which way is Jody going? Is he knocking the Chiefs out of the playoffs? Mike Frohn.
I think I will probably knock the Chiefs out of this, as much as I would like the Chiefs to probably win and let Denver lock the AFC up when they win. Chiefs, like the Eagles, they're broken. They've got a lot of internal problems that probably aren't going to be fixed till this offseason. So,
yeah, you know what? I'm going to sweep it. I can't believe I'm sweeping it with the Kansas City beating at home, losing back-to-back home games, but offensive line is not very good for Kansas City right now, and the Chargers are bringing defense just like the Texans brought defense. We saw what they did against Philadelphia, and there's no reason why they can't do similar things against Kansas City this week. So give me the Chargers defense winning this game. We got it a little lower than Keats got it. I got about a 20-17 type game in this one. So I think it's
plus I heard,
fought.
Didn't I hear the third string left tackle? He's out too.
Yeah,
they just put him on
injury on that offensive line for the Chiefs. Yep.
So they're on their fourth string.
Yep.
Maybe they moved Jawan Taylor over there. I mean, he's been garbage at right tackle, so much worse could he be at left tackle? At least he's on the field.
I'm going to do one more game with you guys, and it's my game of the week for the Juice. And it's not because Keith and Jody are on here and we got a lot of Bronco fans on here. I just think it's going to be the best game this week, and that's the Green Bay Packers traveling to Denver to face the Broncos. I'll go first, and then I'll let my friends from the Denver Bronco Roundup go and give their pick. Green Bay is going to come in. They're going to play hard. They're a well-balanced team. They got Josh Jacobs, a good lead running back. Jordan Love is a top 10 quarterback in this league. Their receivers are playing overachieving, in my opinion. Christian Watson's having a nice season since he's been back. Romeo Doubs, you got to watch out for him. But there's one thing that's going to make me pick the Broncos. This defense is going to have one of its best performances. We've been waiting for it for 2 weeks. We said they haven't really played, up to their potential. Maybe they played down to their opponents a little bit. Crowd's back home. This crowd's going to be fired up. Bo Nix is going to make enough plays. I think you're going to see R.J. Harvey run at Micah Parsons. That's going to be the plan. He wants to be aggressive and try and get to Bo Nix. A couple screen passes here and there. I'm going in true Bronco fashion in 2025. I'm going Broncos 20, Packers 19. I'll let Jody go next.
I seen something wild today. Someone had all these stats broke down of team stats and different things the Broncos and Packers are mirror images of each other, from where Bo Nix and Jordan Love to Denver does have a few more sacks, but sacks allowed, penalties, everything. I mean, they are within a few spots of each other. It's pretty crazy. But I'm going to go Denver. I think someone had said they played 13 times, I think, and Denver was like 6-0-1 at home, and the Packers were like 7-0 at home. So the other team doesn't win at the other team's place. And the last game I was at in Mile High, I mean, it was as loud as I can ever remember in there, and I expect it to be just as loud and full of fans there. So I'm going to go somewhere like 24-17 Denver.
Back-to-back 24-17 wins for the Broncos from Jody. Keith, you get the final say on this game, and then we'll get final thoughts in.
I'll be honest, this is a game that does have me worried. I think this is another tough opponent that's tough at the moment that we're meeting them. I think this is going to be a knock it out, drag it out, back to the edge of your seat type of game for your Broncos fans and Broncos country, to the point that I think this is going to be an overtime victory for the Denver Broncos. 27-20, they score the touchdown. The defense wraps it up by probably getting an interception in overtime, would be my guess, to seal it up and get that victory at home. It's going to be wild, crazy game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Broncos walk away with the victory.
Nice. Couple predictions on the juice here. We'll get more on the pregame show on Sunday, but Phil's coming in 28-17 and Michael's coming in 24-20, both with the Bronco victory. And Biggie's saying this is an all field goal game between both teams. I want to say 12-9 is what he's saying. I do have 4 field goals from the Packers. That's where the 12 and then 1 touchdown. That's the 19. So it's going to be a nail biter, 20-19. But final thoughts, gentlemen. I'll go first. I want to thank both of you guys from the Denver Bronco Roundup. For those who don't know, Keith and Jody, Denver Bronco Roundup. You're going to catch them Sunday on the pregame show for the Broncos on the Rocky Mountain Sports Network here at the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. And then we'll be back for the postgame reaction show. So please come out, hang out with us around 3:30 Eastern time, 1:30 Mountain time will be the time we go on, roughly around that time. Right, we'll be on right to kickoff. And again, thank you guys. Very successful, fun show with everybody. Juicers, you were awesome. Michael and Phil, thank you for the stars, and also Patrick as well. Aloha. And I'm going to say once again, juice it up, everybody, and see everybody next week for the juice. I'll go to Keith next.
Kenny, always a pleasure, man. Love it when I get to come on here and I get to be more the guest and sit back and let you do the hosting, and always make a fun-filled show, man. The Juice is amazing podcast. Loved rocking it on the Morning Juice. Loved it what you're doing with it now that it's went over to evenings and typically on a Tuesday night with Trevor. Glad that I was able to come on and have a episode again with you, because we didn't know how many times this is going to roll around. So can't wait for this, man. NFL football, 4 games left. Everything's on the line. Everything's down to the wire. Everything's edge of your seat. And the Juice is going to be here to take you around the league. 32 teams. Can't wait to see what you guys got going over the next few weeks. Check out the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. We're on Wednesdays typically, and we're also on Saturdays as well. But not this weekend. We're going to put it all on Sunday. We'll do a pre and post game. Can't wait to see you then.
Absolutely. Jody, final words tonight. Jody, thank you for being a first timer on the Juice.
This is a big game for Denver for a lot of different reasons. This is the best team, or one of the best teams in the NFC. This could be a Super Bowl preview if things go right for both teams. I'd like to see Denver continue what they've been doing the last couple of games on offense. They've been efficient. They've been, third downs have been going good. You can look at Bo Nick's stat line last week and say, oh, it was a garbage game. But if you watched it, I mean, he was efficient. He knew where to go with the ball. Yeah, there were a few different times he could have went to the second level and taken some shots, but I think he knew all along these little short routes are here. We'll take them. We'll do these 8+ minute drives, and no need for me to be the reason we lose this game. So I was happy with how he played. Just continue what you're doing and keep getting RJ Harvey more involved in this offense because you're going to need him come playoff time.
Can I just say something real quick? Because
Yep.
that seems like a very big sandwich that we just put in, like an hour and 10 minutes. I think we came in here talking about the Broncos feeding RJ Harvey and that being a big thing. Jody said at the end, and it's kind of funny, Rodney Garcia, who just came in, just also jumped in. That's the one thing. What's up, guys? Go Broncos and feed RJ Harvey. He's finishing that sandwich.
Yep. And once again, no matter what before, one thing's for sure, it's going to be fun week in football. And as always, everybody, juice it up, and we'll see everybody next week.
Next week.
Next.